What connects French architect Paul Gourdet with the historical center of Almaty? Why is the Jarkent Mosque the single surviving work of Chinese architect Han Pike? Where is Valikhanov's manor house Sirimbiet located? Forgotten names and little-known facts, recent history and national color. All this is in the Grand Buildings program. Today in our program, under domes of melpomene from history of Kazakhstan theaters. Dramatic old resident of Akmola region. Astana Opera and Astana Ballet, children of independent Kazakhstan. End of the 19th century is generally thought to be a starting point in the history of Kazakh theatrical art formation. At this time, there were such pioneers as Ural Russian Drama Theater, named after Ostrovsky, built in 1858, and the regional Russian Drama Theater of Pogodin in Petropavlovsk, which was opened 50 years later. Next significant date in theatrical chronicle of Kazakhstan was January 1926. At this time, the first professional Kazakh theater opens in Kizil Orda. This event was an impetus for cultural industry development, and in the 1930s, new theaters and drama collectives began to appear in the Republic. This, in turn, led to theater architecture development in Kazakhstan. To date, Almaty is the most theatrically populated city of Kazakhstan, where more than a dozen melpomene temples are functioning. Oldest of them is the building of the Opera Theater, named after Abai. Built in 1941, it was named by contemporaries as one of the most grandiose structures of those years. The next construction turn occurred in the 60s to the 80s, when architectural modernism was developing in the country. This style is distinguished by use of modern building materials and structures, a rational approach to solution of internal spaces, lack of tendencies towards decoration, and fundamental rejection of historical reminiscence in concepts of structures. These approaches are clearly discernible in most of Almaty theaters. But in the capital, traditions of theater construction developed differently, both in stylistic and historical aspects. This is partially because almost 115 years have passed between the construction of the first and last Astana theaters. However, let's start with the beginning. Theater's history dates back to 1899. It is a year of permanent troupe establishment in Akmolensk, in its building with its repertoire, which is very popular among city people. Before that, in the 70s and 80s, there were only clubs of dramatic art amateurs. Actually, it was upon their application that the merchant philanthropist Kubrin allocated only 100 rubles, and the Akmola City Duma added as much as that. In addition, long-standing love of city people for high art has finally gained official status and a permanent home. It is referred to the State Academic Russian Drama Theater, named after Gorky, the third oldest theater of the country. Building of red brick, barely perceptible behind turquoise beauty, is precisely that theater erected in Akmolensk in 1899. Today, theater scene is placed in a 3-story stucco structure which was built 17 years later. Theater finally became its owner only in 1939. Before that, a gymnasium functioned here, and after that, first and second city courts were in operation, and even cells with prisoners were located there. Willing or unwilling, this building reminds me a little bit of the Bolshoi Drama Theater in St. Petersburg. Then it was Leningrad. Even this color, greenish with white, and the fact that this is an ancient building. Similarity of theater with Russian counterpart is given both by color and shape and by abundance of bas-reliefs and stucco decorations. Contrary to usual, these artistic details do not weight the building's architecture, but on the contrary, add sophistication and charm. construction style of Russian classicism widely spread in Russia in the 18th and 19th centuries. However, uniqueness and significance of theater is due not only to architectural delights of structure, but also to the fact that for several decades it was an exclusive similar cultural institution in the region.
Бұл аймақтарда әсіресе мына солтүстік Қазақстан, орталық Қазақстандағы біздің ұлттық Қазақ театрлары.
In these parts, especially in north and central Kazakhstan, our national Kazakh theaters are mostly 20 to 25 years old. That is, they all opened during the years of independence. However, our theater has a long 117-year history behind it. As you know, during the time of sovereign ruler, during Soviet era and years following independence, our theater did a great job in raising national spirit, awakening ideology of people, together with people themselves that experienced all important historical events and changes. Theater performs a very responsible job, and I would call it one of the best in the country. Theater has a name of Maxim Gorky since 1959. And 2 years later, when Selenograd became the center of Virgin Lands region, the theater was called as Virgin Regional. At the same time, it is reconstructed. Stage and dressing rooms are finished. Records of all these transformations are kept in the theater's museum. To be honest, only a small portion of archival documents reach contemporaries. Repeated fires absorbed a considerable part of archival documents. Last major transformation took place in 1983. Then the third floor was built up and a building acquired a look that it has up to now.
Есть и плюсы, и есть свои минусы. Плюсы в том, что, во-первых, конечно, это уже место на моле.
There are both benefits and implications here. On the positive side, of course, there is already a sacred place. It is such a center of culture, with its history, and this has its own charm. However, on the negative side, of course, it is very poorly equipped for a modern theater. When the audience expects more spectacular scenery from us, in this respect, it is very difficult here, because this stage box was completed in the middle of the last century. Third floor, where we are standing now, is a stage box with fly gallery. It was completely finished as far as dimensions of this building allowed. Because backstage space is completely absent, there are no side stages. In general, much is amiss.
Там карманов сцены нету, в общем-то, много чего нету.
Kanat Maksutov has been working for the position of design director of theater for 10 years already. Despite obvious disadvantages of premises, he did not want to change anything in this building. An amazing atmosphere of theater bewitches Kanat Muratovich, and he perceives difficulties associated with its inner workings as a personal creative challenge. Actors of drama troupe share this opinion.
Особенность этой сцены, что такая, знаете, камерность. В этом тоже
The peculiarity of the scene is in its intimacy. It has its own charm, too. Of course, when we go to large sites, it turns out that we relax, we go out extensively. Nevertheless, here there is more intimacy. Right now, here I had a solo performance, Human Voice, by Jean Cocteau. It is very difficult when one person works on stage. Mitveyev Sergei Fyodorovich released a solo performance by Pushkin. It is wonderful.
Буквально недавно Пушкин, ну замечательный.
For 117 seasons, theater took lessons in drama and literature for audience, passing with them age-old path of world classics. Shakespeare and Mallet, Pushkin and Dostoevsky, Simonov, Bulgakov, Dudarev, Alwezov, and other famous authors reign here. Now there are more than 30 performances on works of Kazakhstan and world drama and repertoire of theater, representing a wide range of genres and aesthetic directions, interesting to audiences of all age categories. Upon that, interest in theater staging extends far beyond Astana.
өткен жылдың октябрьдің 1 мен 8 аралығында мысалы Сербияға барып қайттық.
From the 1st through the 8th of October last year, for example, we visited Serbia. We had a new performance by Chingiz Aitmatov Mankurt, and we took part in festival there. This year we were invited once again to a big festival, Revelation in Almaty. This means that they chose us, our theater, and our performance among more than 50 theaters. It is an indication that the audience and jury, they want to see our theater. In addition, if we were invited to one festival and experts will choose us there, then they will invite us to perform in another country. I think all this means is that theatrical art has its own honorable niche today. For decades, drama theater named after Gorky has become the main urban cultural institution of its kind. The situation changed dramatically after Kazakhstan gained independence, which, among other things, gave capital's residents such iconic structures as the Astana Opera Theater. Construction of theater began in 2010. This building was built within 3 years, more precisely even 2 years and a half. Total area of our theater is 9 hectares. It is located on the left bank of our capital, Astana. Astana Opera State Theater was built on the initiative of the first president of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev. Big Jet Pakoli became the project's author. Architect's role went to Renato Archetti. In total, a team of architects, builders, and designers from 33 countries worked on the external appearance and interiors of the theater. President of the country, Nursultan Nazarbayev, constantly amended a project, including its stage of practical implementation. Therefore, it was at his suggestion that the height of the main theater foyer was increased.
Our
theater consists of natural marble brought from Italy. Our chandelier is made of Bohemian crystal. Its weight is about 1,600 kilograms. We have golden shades and decoration, which represents wealth of our theater. Astana Opera impresses not only by its scale, but also by architectural grace inherent in buildings of neoclassicism. In theater shape, best traditions of world architecture and Kazakh national color harmoniously intersect. Latter is guessed in a rich ornamental frame of interiors. Of course, it was required to fill such an outstanding building with worthy content. Theater's troupe was formed by serious competitive selection. Among others, jury, which included representatives of such major theaters as La Scala, Bolshoi, and Mariinsky, formed an outstanding team of orchestra members, singers, and dancers.
I
worked at the theater named after Kulyash Baisitova for 10 years, and I was waiting all this time. The rest of us have been working and looking forward that young artists will be lucky at this theater. Because we did not even expect that such a big theater would appear. Even when invited artists come to visit, they all say, "Guys, you have such a luxurious theater. You are very lucky." Such a high assessment of foreign visitors is not unfounded, because only the stage area, equipped with latest technology, occupies more than 3,000 square meters. Our theater consists of 2 halls, large and chamber. Large hall is designed for 1,250 seats. The chamber hall is designed for 250 seats. Thanks to the impressive size and modern equipment of the main stage, Henning Grochas staged premiere of Traviata of Mirrors opera 2 years ago. Scenography uniqueness of this production is use of huge mirrors fixed under a slight slope to the stage. Astana Opera is the only theater in Central Asia where it became possible to embody such an incredible conception of the stage director. However, Traviata is not the only thing to be proud of.
Но надо сказать, что уже сделано немало.
I have to say that much has already been done, and for today we can boast of 22 ballet productions, in birth of which great masters have invested their creative work.
Вот, в рождение которого вложили свое творчество великие мастера.
For every creative specialist of the theater, service here is not only a great honor, but also a huge responsibility, especially when you have to play the most majestic and iconic roles from world's ballet repertoire for the first time. Similar tests came way recently to laureate of international competitions, soloist of Astana opera, Serik Nakispekov. He happened to perform part which all ballet dancers dream of since initial classes of choreographic school. It is a part of Spartacus.
Эта партия тяжеловато далась мне, потому что
This part was hard for me because there's a lot of acting, a lot of physical activity. Hardest part is the physical side. It is necessary to withstand for the whole performance. I have such experience for the first time. This is the first leading part for me. In addition, performance is considered one of the most difficult in men's repertoire.
сложная. Одна из сложных спектаклей считается в репертуаре мужском.
Spartacus is not the only masterpiece that adorns the repertoire of the capital's theater. Sleeping Beauty and Swan Lake of Pyotr Tchaikovsky, Bohemia and Madame Butterfly by Giacomo Puccini, Notre Dame de Paris of famous choreographer Roland Petit. This was a small part of performances that the city people could see thanks to the construction of the Astana Opera Theater. Besides, in spite of the fact that the theater troupe faithfully and selflessly loves native penance, they often have to leave their native walls. Over the past 4 or more years, theater artists have toured in New York, Toronto, Paris, Rotterdam, Antwerp, and in many other major cultural centers.
Я думаю, что вот этот вектор по гастрольной деятельности не только за рубежом, но и по Казахстану.
I think that this vector on tour is not only abroad, but also across Kazakhstan. It will continue its development, and I think this year there will be many trips exactly in Kazakhstan. Because abroad in general, they have heard a lot about Astana Opera. In all foreign professional magazines, there is a constant information about our theater. However, at the same time, not everywhere in Kazakhstan our theater was heard and seen alive. And I think this is just one of the moments that we will pay more attention to this year.
Слышали живьем наш театр, видели живьем. Вот. И я думаю, что это один из таких моментов, которые мы сейчас в этом году будем обратим на это больше внимания.
Another initiative of the President of the Republic was construction of the Astana Ballet Theater, which ended in November 2016. Unlike its counterpart, this construction was carried out by efforts of exclusively Kazakh architects and designers. A brigade consisting of more than 1,200 people met tight deadlines of a year and a half. However, this in no way affected the structure's quality. Our theater was created very quickly and probably unexpectedly even for us, because when it was decided to create a National Academy of Choreography, it was decided to build a theater within the framework of this complex, both for educational purposes and for professional work. And we all our employees took part in technical design assignment of this theater. That is, all our wishes of artistic management, artists, choreographers, and technical staff were taken into account when creating this theater.
Мастеров и технических сотрудников учитывались при создании этого театра.
New theater blended seamlessly into the architectural complex of Astana, and its modern outlines correspond with general ensemble of Expo 2017 objects, located on the opposite side of the street. Entrance lobby of theater begins with delicate figures of dancers. They look effectively at the background of light walls and glass. Instead of traditional marble columns, builders use porcelain stoneware, steel glass, and wood. Interior foyer is distinguished by restraint, simple lines and decoration devoid of extravagance. Everything is maximally functional and harmonious.
Наш театр отличается тем, что он отошел от стандартных классических форм.
Our theater is different in the fact that it moved away from standard classical forms. This is a modern theater of modern design and modern forms. Moreover, a second feature is its internal equipment. This is also part of uniqueness because we have a very modern equipment, both mechanical and electronic. Many teams of different genres can work here. In addition, they can put on very interesting performances.
Коллективам разных жанров и ставить очень интересные постановки.
From the very beginning, Astana Ballet staff members had a difficult goal to skillfully combine classical traditions and latest trends of folk and modern choreography. First step towards its implementation was creation of ideal conditions for the troupe's work, which also could not but affect internal solution of the theater space.
Ну и, конечно, условия, которые здесь созданы для артистов, они просто замечательные.
Of course, conditions created for artists here are wonderful. First, there are two identical large halls. We do not have such a thing in Kazakhstan practically in any theater, so that there are two equivalent halls for rehearsals. They're spacious, bright, even special ballet floors laid everywhere, both on the stage and in the halls. Everywhere we have a specialized floor, which extends the artist's life, let's say.
Везде у нас специализированный пол, который продлевает жизнь артиста, скажем так.
Theater's auditorium differs significantly from the usual opera and ballet halls with gilt stucco. It is characterized by clear lines and decorative minimalism. Calm, noble shades were used in decoration of the hall, golden brown curtain, saffron upholstery of armchairs, brown floor. Restrained colors of interior do not distract attention from the main thing, from the stage.
Сцена – это вообще как бы особенная вещь. Могу сказать, что вот иногда на сценах, я танцевала на всех почти мировых сценах.
Scene is generally a special thing. I danced on almost all world scenes, and not everywhere there's such a feeling. Not everywhere you feel comfortable. When I came on this stage for the first time here, it was really good. I felt very comfortable.
Ну, прям хорошо. Вот я прям себя чувствовала очень прям комфортно.
Stage's area is 536 square meters, and its modern technical equipment allows embodiment of most complex scenography. Its parameters and almost unlimited possibilities open up a space for embodiment of bright ideas for directors and stage designers. Here you can conduct concerts of symphonic, variety, and folk orchestras, creative meetings, presenting modern shows and musicals. Astana Ballet Theater stage is equipped with advanced equipment. Now we have 53 flying bars, a lifting range of 22 meters, and a carrying capacity of 250 kilograms. Also in theater, there are 8-point lifts which we can place at any point. A fly gallery located above the stage. Height of fly gallery is 24 meters. There are 4 lifting and lowering platforms on the stage, each of which can lift more than 5 tons. And their size is 3 by 14 meters. Its lifting possibility is 3.5 meters. Totally, stage complex, which includes stage, forestage, backstage, and pockets, is more than 1,000 square meters. Orchestra pit is designed for 50 to 60 musicians. Latest technologies of mobile and lifting-lowering mechanics are used for transformation of the scene. 19th flying bar went up. I got it. It goes up. Complex of lighting includes both traditional theatrical devices and systems as well as latest innovative developments in this field. About 800 lighting devices are mounted to ensure high quality of artistic lighting. We have 5 fully operating lighting strands, backlight in terms of devices. We have about 3 to 4 species on each tower in terms of direction of devices. There are filling, profiling, and drawing devices. We have absolutely no constraint in this. Today, all these resources are actively involved in the repertoire of the theater, which has 10 one-act ballets and 4 concert programs in various styles: modern, neoclassic, and contemporary.
Коллектив молодой.
Staff is young, but has already become famous. This is probably one of the most significant achievements, that staff has become recognizable. It has acquired audience, and many people are striving to enter this theater. This is probably the main achievement. A special atmosphere and strong emotions, a lively perception of reality and solemnity of situation. Of course, the main role in creating this atmosphere is played by performance and troupe performing it. However, playhouse, on whose scene a stage action is unfolding, is sometimes no less important and significant. After all, every masterpiece is supposed to have a worthy frame.